There, now the microphone works. If you want to fast forward about 7 minutes, I'm going to be taking viewer questions. We're going to be talking about happiness. So, and then also just a reminder that next week is no replay week. I'll be doing strictly, I'll be recording actually a class on that I'll be selling later. So I'll be recording it live. And then as soon as I go live, off the air live, that will all be deleted. So if you want to watch me record a product or a show on stress and overcoming stress and all sorts of strategies for happiness and that type of thing, then watch live next week. I'll be on at 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. So it's a 5-part series. Good morning, Victoria and Sarah and Joanne and Roy and Adele and, oh, just everybody's here this morning. You guys are logging in early. This is great. Okay, oops, that's not going to work. I know it's over in front of the thing, but you know what? I'm going to put up that side slide in just a minute. But what happens is that's also covering my comments. So that's a problem. So, Victoria, you are always number one, girl. Really, seriously, I think you're always the first person in the house. So that's pretty funny. How you doing this morning, Adele? Sarah, Joanne, there we go. It's 5:50 a.m. Oh, Roy. You know, we still haven't scheduled that call. You and we have to get together and do that. All right, so I have to get my comments over here. Anybody have amazing plans for the weekend? What are you guys up to? I have my big massage tomorrow. So usually go on Fridays. I kind of like Friday massages, but Saturday night, I don't know. Not so much. Okay, got to move that over there. And then I'm working on, oh, my baskets came. Oh, I should have had my baskets. I have my baskets came, and I'm going to put, I have baskets that I'm doing in the kitchen, and they're going to be like a basket of potatoes and a basket of onions, and put them on little shelfie things. So I have to make the shelfie things because the baskets just came. But in the picture, the baskets are like this, which means they'll hang in the little opening thing. But when I got them, the sides are straight. So now we have to re-engineer those. So speaking of engineering, called my engineering son, and he's going to help me with that. So hopefully. Good morning, Laura, for Saturday for Sarah. Where y'all from? Roy's in California. Of course, y'all know I am in Dallas. And if you don't know, you know now. Onions and potatoes aren't supposed to be stored together. Well, they're not going to be together. There's a division thing between them. Oh, back to number one. You know what's funny? Okay, Scott Hoffman made a comment. Scott's an acquaintance of mine. Not really good friends or anything, but an acquaintance. We do, Scott Hoffman is the #1 literary agent in the country, if not in the world. He's got a stable of New York Times best-selling authors. So when Scott speaks, I listen, especially when it comes to book covers, anything to do with book publishing, anything like that. So then I get these notes from people who are like, no, all you have to do is click on his name and see that he runs this big agency in New York City and all this kind of stuff, right? So people are texting me these notes saying, who does this guy think he is? I'm like, he's the man. When Scott speaks, you listen. Scott really knows what he's talking about. This is what he does for a living. #1 agent, like, in the country, right? This is what he does. And a great wine lover. You should see that he has this blog on wine. It's just amazing. So anyway, so it was kind of funny because people were like, who does this guy think he is? He's the man. So that was pretty funny. Let me see. Oh, that's right. You're up by Topeka. I forgot that, Laura. I was thinking Kansas City, but a little further west. So yeah, and potatoes have to be stored out of the light. So I actually have to put a little cover over the top of the potatoes, otherwise they turn green, which is actually like not good for you if they're exposed to the sun. So I guess they're kind of like mushrooms in that way. They like darkness. Otherwise they get ill. Yeah, so the book cover thing, that was pretty funny. So, and actually, and then somebody told me that that's not your target market. Somebody sent me a private note. And I said, actually, I have two different book covers going because I have a business book cover going that's going to be put on LinkedIn, and then I have a different book covers for different target markets. So it's really easy to change that kind of stuff now, especially when you're doing an ebook. It's just like a click of the button, you change the cover of an ebook. So people are like, well, that's not your target market. Well, yeah, it is. So it's really, and it truly, I was going through the comments with a female businesswoman friend of mine. So really, when you look at it, it's really interesting. She said, this is like a Rorschach test. When you see people's comments, you can tell a lot about what target market they are based on their comments, which is literally why I put in there bonus points if you can say why you don't like it, because it helps me when I'm looking at different people and you know, a lot of my different clients and the people that I work with, what is it that they really like? Because I want to help people where they're at and give them what they need, get them what they like, give them best what's going to help them. And if I have in my mind, this is what people like, and they don't, I mean, I can't help them, and I'm not helping them. You know, I'm confusing them. So really, I like to know people's opinions. I like to know where they stand. I'm not offended when people don't, because everybody likes something different. So that doesn't offend me. So it was really, but it's really, really interesting when you really read what people are saying. A lot of times you don't even have to click their link to know their background or what they do or that kind of stuff. So marketing and people and their temperaments and why people make the decisions they do has always fascinated me. So it was interesting to really read through the comments. It literally, and that's when my girlfriend said, this is like a Rorschach test. And I said, well, that's kind of what marketing is, you know, just kind of knowing where people are and that type of thing. So I thought it was really interesting. It looks elegant today. The nails, the lipstick, the glasses all really make it. Thank you. The lipstick matches the nails. Actually, when I picked out the nail color, I took in my tube of lipstick. I literally took, I have two lipsticks that I wear all the time. They're on my little thing right here. And this is one of them, and it's called Gash. So you can see how really close that is to the color. And so that's the lipstick color. So I literally took it in to match. You know, it's kind of like an 80s thing to be all matchy-matchy, but I kind of like, it's part of my OCD. I kind of like to match. So interesting. All right, I am going to set up Periscope. This is the beauty tip of the day is sitting right here. I actually have a prop. I have the thing. And we're going to get started. So happy that you joined the family in the morning, Natasha. That's great. Hey, good morning, Lori. Didn't see you sneak in. Actually, it only came through once for me. See, Facebook is kind of wonky, isn't it? You never know what you're going to get. So anyway, we're doing viewer question today. And I've gotten this question more than once, so I thought I would cover it as a regular type of thing today of people asking the same thing of, all right, initializing. Let me put this in here. I know it's ready to start. Remember yesterday? That was funny because I just left it on the black screen while I did this kind of stuff. So now you get to see me do this kind of stuff, and it's not on a blank screen. Trying to get it to, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, now we can roll the open. A little bit late, but hey, who's counting? All right, let's have some fun. Let's add in some Periscope peeps. Hey, good morning and welcome to Coffee with Colleen. My name is Colleen Hammond. I am a former on-camera meteorologist for the Weather Channel, turned executive image consultant, coach, and a mentor. Grab a cup of coffee, grab your morning beverage, and let's talk. Today we're doing viewer questions. And it's Friday, so I thought we'd do something a little bit more laid back and a little bit more relaxed. And do like viewer questions, and this is one that I get all the time, and it's regarding happiness, because people say, oh, you seem like you're happy all the time, and yeah, I kind of am happy all the time, but why is that, and where does that happiness come from, and how do you stay happy, how do you get happy, for heaven's sakes? So those are all the questions I wanted to deal with today. Let me make sure. Good morning, Carol. Sometimes my volume's, yeah, it's turned down. Sometimes I can't tell. Good morning, Connie. Sometimes I just can't tell. So I want to get your questions going over on Broadcaster Pro. Why did the color go? Facebook's color just disappeared, and I don't know why. It's kind of funny. So good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Connie. And yeah, so we're going to talk about this one question that I get all of the time. Just a reminder, next week is no replay week because I am recording a class live. And it's a class that I'm going to sell later. So you get to watch me record it live. You get kind of the behind the scenes, watch me record it live. I got the idea from Brendan Burchard, if any of you are familiar with Brendan. And then, so as soon as I'm done with the live portion, then as soon as I go off the air from live, that will be deleted. So there will be no replays next week. So make sure you join live next week, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, and you will get to see the course for free. You won't get any of the downloads or anything like that. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I just found some new information, Connie, so adding it into the class for next week as well. So it's going to be a time management situation for me. And so you want to make sure, go ahead and share it with your friends. Let people know that I'll be recording a very expensive course next week. Why is it doing that? All right, I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know. Does Facebook, it looks kind of blue over on Facebook, and I'm not sure why. So, don't know. But Periscope looks great this morning, so that's good. All right, so this was the viewer question that people keep asking me. Happiness. You always seem so happy. How do you get that way? So, how do you get happy? How do you stay happy? And I thought we would talk about that this morning. So, I grew up in the Midwest. A lot of us grew up thinking that you work really hard. You get, Angel, thanks for inviting for your followers. You work really hard, which leads to your success. And then you're happy. Once you get that success, you're happy. But for some reason, yeah, Victoria says it's darker than normal, but Lori's getting it fine, so I'm not sure. But that's not how it works out. But that's how a lot of us were raised, is you work hard and you get success, and then once you're successful, you're happy. But guess what? That's not how it works. A little grayish purple, but that's okay. Let me double check this really quick. See, it's grayish purple there too, so I wonder if it's got something to do with this being here. I think that was it. I think this was just in the way a little bit, and it made Facebook purple. I'm not sure why, because the back of that is pink. Not sure. Anyway, so it's actually the other way around. Your happiness comes first. And when you're happy, you do the work and you become successful. Hey, good morning, Kim. So we have it backwards in our minds. It's Len, so it's purple. That's funny. We have it backwards in our mind because we're raised thinking you work hard, you become successful, and success brings with it happiness, and that's not what happens. Actually, truly, truly, your happiness comes first. So good to see you, Kim. Your happiness comes first. Now think about it. When you're happy, don't you feel like doing things? Don't you, that happiness factor is just like, gosh, now I feel like doing stuff. When you're depressed and you're down, that's when you don't want to do things. So the happiness portion comes first. And then after that is when the success comes. So, yeah, I want to do a little bit more on the weekends too, Kim. So trying to get there. Just trying to get there. Good morning, Daria. How are you this morning? Thanks for being here. So how do you be happy? And that's the question I get all the time. How come you're happy all the time? Happiness is a choice. Your joy and your happiness is what you make it. Lori said, isn't happiness as much as a decision as a feeling? The decision comes first. I decide to be happy. It's a conscious choice. And then the feelings are what come around it. Good morning. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Oh, this isn't working. Let me refresh this really quick. Broadcaster Pro. No wonder those comments weren't coming up because Broadcaster Pro is not being loyal. There it is. Now let's see if it'll kick in. Yeah, Broadcaster Pro, not making me really happy this week. It's supposed to, instead of those tiny little comments on the screen, I have it right behind on my computer so that the comments are really big. And it doesn't seem to be working this week. I'm not sure why. So anyway, happiness is our responsibility. Some people are like, oh, well, so-and-so did something and that's why. Happiness is not other people. Good morning, Nikki. Now it's working. See, Nikki, I just needed you to show up, and now Broadcaster Pro is working. That's what it was missing. It was like, Nikki's not here. We're waiting until Nikki gets here. Good morning, Sue. Thanks for being here. So it doesn't depend on other people. Our circumstances are not what makes us happy. Our internal activities, so glad to be useful. Our internal activities, science have shown, has 4 times the impact on our happiness than external activities or external happenings. So it's not the circumstances that make you happy. It's not outside events that make you happy. It's not success that makes you happy. It comes from within. So your intentional and internal activities are 4 times more likely to make you happy. Let me see. Jen says, hey, good morning. It's Friday. Doesn't the temperament play a role? Yep, absolutely. Your temperament does play a role in that, Lori. And again, that's your intentionality and your internalness. Good morning, Glock. I have a Glock. Good morning. Nice Bryce. How are you this morning? So yes, your temperament does have an impact on that. And it goes into your intentionality and your internalness. Patricia says, cannot see or hear you. There must be something wrong with Facebook. Facebook isn't loyal all the time. Good morning, Father Keys. Warming up the car on the way to 640 Mass. Yeah, and I'm still waiting to hear back from them. I'm going to text them again this morning. Actually, I'll probably just call Susan. I think I'll just call his wife and see what's going on with John. Hey, there's my sister Sherry. Very, very sick. She's got some lung issues. Inside isn't making me happy today. Yeah, really. Excuse me. So your intention, your internal activities, and this goes back to your prayer, your meditation, your activities, and I'm talking about that more in just a minute. So talk about science, and then I'll just give you some applicable tips on what you can use. So your intention and your internal activities, again, 4 times more effective than your outside circumstances. So science has shown us that there are 3 things that you can do to help yourself be happy. Number 1 is go for a walk. Keeps coming back to that, doesn't it? All the new studies that keep reading, what does it keep telling me? Over and over and over again. This is the interesting study that I just read, though. And this one said a 20-minute walk. And others I have read are 30-minute walks. The big thing is get out there and walk. They did the study of people who walked. And this study did 20 minutes a day. People who walked 20 minutes a day. People who took antidepressants, and the third group were people who walked and took antidepressants. Which group do you think was happier and less depressed? The one that walked only, the people who only took antidepressants, or the ones who walked and took antidepressants? Group 1, 2, or 3? Good morning, Monkey Fan. Thanks for being here. Walkers only, says Connie. Anybody else want to contribute? So walkers only, antidepressants only, or walkers who also took antidepressants. Daria says walkers only. You don't think it was walkers plus antidepressants? Walkers only. Yeah, Carissa said walkers only. Walkers only. Gina says, Sherry says, Natasha says, Roy says, Kim says, everybody says walkers only. Absolutely right. They were thinking when they did the study it would be walkers who also took antidepressants. So what's it tell you about antidepressants? Right? Not even going to go there. But what does that tell you? Go for a walk. All right, so this is the first thing you can do to help elevate your mood. Exercise mitigates the need for the antidepressants, and not only that, antidepressants aren't doing what they think they're doing. The prayer walkers, says Gina. Absolutely. Yeah, that's always, the clean air helps. getting fresh air. There's something about outdoor air that's very helpful. There's also the greenery that people see, the actual greenery, not the fake stuff like you see behind me, the fake ficus tree from the 80s, right? It's the combination. So, yep, it's being able to see real green and the real sunshine and the real, and the study was just walkers. It wasn't necessarily people who walked outside. But we also know, good morning, Mark. We also know that outside can have a great impact on it as well. All right, the second thing that we can do to make a big difference in our happiness is journaling. But this was a specific kind of journaling that this study revealed. Journaling about a positive experience you have had that day. So being able, you can see me today, Fiona. Yay! Fiona had a blank screen yesterday. Being able to journal is so impactful. But this specific type of journaling was to think about a positive experience you had during the day and journal about that positive experience. And I liked what this article said. It said your brain doesn't have a GPS, so it doesn't know where you are. And what do I say all the time? Your brain is dumb. Your brain doesn't know when you are either. It just knows that moment and what's happening within that moment. Good morning, Melissa. Thanks for being here. We're talking about happiness. How to be happy, how to stay happy. The brain doesn't have a GPS. Don't you love that? I thought that was the most, good morning, Shahid. I thought that was a great way of putting it. But the brain doesn't know where you are, and it doesn't know when you are, at what moment of time you're in. Rick says only people who are really psychotic should use antidepressants. Few people really need the medication. Yeah, and then there's instances where somebody's bipolar, manic depressive, that type of thing, that they really do need it. Real Green of Nature is very healing. Yep, absolutely. St. Hildegard, I didn't know that. Hildegard was the name of our dog. Write it down. Write it down. So yeah, so journaling about a happy activity that happened during the day, because your brain doesn't have a GPS. It doesn't know where you are or when you are. So good morning, Heaven Sent. So writing down that activity, you're reliving it. So now you have lived that happy moment twice in one day. Then go back and reread what you wrote. Your brain doesn't know when or where you are, so it relives that activity again. How are you, Christina? So now you've relived that happy moment 3 times in one day. So pay attention during the day, and this ties in with gratitude. So, but this was just this particular study that I read. So that 20-minute walk and then journaling up for 20 minutes. It said to journal for 20 minutes about that particular activity, that happy activity. So what do we do a lot of times if we're journaling? We brain dump about the bad stuff. I do that in the morning. Does writing about it and rereading it release endorphins? Yes, it does. I am a very positive person. Yes, thank you. Language Lover says, you're a very positive person. God bless you. And that's why I think I get these questions about how, hey, good morning, Diane. I saw your brief, tiny little scope this morning. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's kind of tying in with what we're doing today too. So good morning, Renos. How are you this morning, Reno? So number 1 was a 20-minute walk. Number 2 is journaling for 20 minutes about something happy that happened to you. So you relive it that once. You're welcome. You lived it once during the day. You relive it again in your brain. And like Fiona says, you release all those endorphins one more over again. And then when you reread it a third time, you get that same rush of happiness. Good morning, Miss Karen. So that's another way that you can reinforce the happiness of your life. Think about something back in the day of a good thing that happened. Of course, when you're going through that moment, really enjoy it. Stop, breathe it in, experience it. It's a gift. Really, really live that moment. Let me see. This is making me wish I still lived in Malvern, which is a walker's town. Oh, yeah, that's a nice thing about being in Europe, too. Europe, a lot of people can walk in Europe, and so that's a good thing, too. So do that 20-minute walk. And then relive that experience. So you have the experience during the day, you journal about it, and then you reread it. All right, so I'm going to give you 10 more tips, and then we're doing the beauty tip of the day. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about happiness. There's Nikki, she's back. We're talking about happiness, and we're also talking about, again, just a reminder, next week is a no replay week. All of the 5. Good morning, positive thinker. Good, how are you doing, Deirdre? And don't forget that next week I am recording live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, a program I'm going to be selling. But you get to see me recording it live. And then as soon as I'm done recording, as soon as the live portion is over, everything is going to be deleted. So it's a no replay week next week. Also, random acts of kindness. Poor Nikki, she keeps getting booted out. Random acts of kindness. It says to focus on one random act of kindness a day, 5 days a week. I say do it multiple times a day, every day of the week. But the study said that they found that people who did, there's Nikki, she's back again, one random act of kindness a day for 5 days a week, their happiness level was elevated. Why? Because we think we're pretty cool people. That's kind of what it boils down to, is that we're kind of proud of ourselves. Gosh, I'm a good person. I guess I am. I'm really a good person. So when you do these random, I can see that you keep getting, you're off, you're on. That happened to Connie yesterday. Connie was off and on, off and on, off and on all morning. So doing these random acts of kindness are good for the soul. But that part of the reason this particular study saw that we think better of ourselves. We like, you know what? I'm not such a bad person after all, when we're doing random acts of kindness. So that's what hey, thanks for putting that in. bit.ly/more willpower. You can get a copy of my free ebook on how to increase your willpower and make better decisions. Connie says it always feels good to do acts of kindness for others. It really does. And I think it's a win-win, because we get that feeling of happiness when we see other people that are grateful and happy that we've had an impact on that. But I thought it was kind of funny. This particular study said it's because we think so much better of ourselves. Okay, whatever. All right, so 10 strategies that you can use and to be happy. And again, this was the viewer question I got, is like, how can you be so happy and positive all the time? It's a choice. Number one, encourage others. So that kind of ties back to the study I was just talking about how random acts of kindness. But again, the brain doesn't have a GPS. It doesn't know when you are. It doesn't know where you are. So when you encourage other people, it increases your own creativity in your brain, and it increases your level of imagination. Number two, you all are given gifts. We all have gifts. So to use those gifts unapologetically is another way that you can increase your happiness, because when you put your gifts underneath a basket, what are you doing? You're kind of smothering yourself. And you don't feel good because, hey, I'm kind of good at this, but I don't want to offend other people, so I'm not going to do it. What? No. You're denying God, too. You're kind of insulting God. When he has given you a gift, it's not because he wants you to stuff it in a closet somewhere. He really does want you to use it. That's why he gave it to you. So get out there and use your gifts. Stop hiding behind your excuses, right? Get out there and do it. Sherry's got to do a breathing treatment. My sister Sherry's got this lung issue, and so she's doing her albuterol, I'm sure. Prayers for those in need. Prayers for her friend Lisa recovering from cancer. Please pray for me. Don't want to end up back in the hospital again overnight. So absolutely prayers for Sherry as she's undergoing some breathing difficulties. So use your gifts unapologetically. You'll increase your happiness as well. Because don't you feel good when you like, hey, I kind of like doing this. And when you're really good at something, you tend to kind of like to do it because you're good at it, right? Good morning, Slow Train. And thanks, Nikki. Nikki's praying for you, Sherry. I got to get everybody all coordinated. All right, so watch who you're hanging around is a third way you can be careful with your happiness. It's funny, I watched Justin for a couple of minutes this morning, and he was talking about that, about your circle of friends, and sometimes people can just be soul-sucking. Have you ever been that around people where, they used to be really good friends, but you've just moved into a different part of your life? That happens, or you're single and then you get married. So you don't kind of hang around with your married friends, or you hang around with married people, you're not hanging around with single people anymore. And then you have a baby, and now you start hanging around with people that have babies. So you do go through these friendship transitions as you go through life. But sometimes when you're in a business or you're working a business, there are proverbial uncombed. Good morning. Somebody else joined too. You go through different seasons of your life, and so you have different friendships at those different times, and that's okay. As you move in and out of those friendships, that's what happens. So if you're around, no Debbie Downer, says Diana. Yeah, if you're around people who are really soul-sucking and energy-sucking, then maybe it's time to let them go their own way. Release them. because they may not like being around you. They may be intimidated by you. Who does she think she is? Who did he think he is? Whatever. Sometimes it's just time to move on in a friendship. And that's okay, because we do go through these different seasons in our lives. And the people around us really do shape our thinking. If you had different friendships, if you've done that, you'll see how that has shaped your thinking. If you're around people who are small thinkers, who are like, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. Like, no, you need to be around people that are going to uplift you and encourage you that you can do it. I needed some coffee. So those negative outside influences need to go. Pray for them. Let them go. And when they're gone, sometimes it's like, oh, I can breathe again. It's very uplifting. Wow, we're getting people jumping in and out. Come back again with Kim and Deirdre. The sooner they're gone, the sooner you can get that happiness and that joy back in your life. And sometimes what will happen is that you kind of regret not letting them go sooner. Connie says, like you do, Colleen. Truly thankful for you. Thank you, Connie. I appreciate you being here, too. Hey, there's Carrie. I have a really hard time being around a constant complainer. Yeah, just pray for them and let them go. And because oftentimes you'll see, gosh, why didn't I just cut them loose sooner, right? Should have should have let them go sooner. Because oftentimes in our life, words can be flowers or muck and stalls. So do you want people who are constantly throwing horse manure around at you and being negative and bringing you down? And it doesn't take that much. It kind of goes back to that old story about the guy who made brownies for his daughter, because his daughter was like, but they're a good friend, and she was trying to defend this person as a friendship. And he said, well, then, here, I made some brownies for you. And there's just like a teaspoon of dog poop in it, but it's just a tiny little bit, I don't want those. Ooh, Dad, So it can be that one rotten apple that can spoil a whole bushel. It can be that way in your life. It just takes that one person in your life to either be a positive influence. Hey, now. Why was I thinking about horse stalls? I got Sherry over here and Kim over here. So it can be a positive influence, and it could be the frosting on the cake, or it can be that tiny little bit of dog poop, we'll say, instead of horse manure, that can really bring you down. So watch your circle of friends and watch those people around you and bring those positive influences into your life as opposed to the negative influences. Mom and Dad used to tell us, birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, if you want to, my mom brought in this little thing that she'd cut out of the newspaper, and she stuck it on my mirror in my bedroom. It's you can't fly with the eagles if you're hanging around with turkeys. So I still remember that little thing. I wish I still had it, but after years, it kind of got bent and frayed. But that's kind of funny. So number 4, pay attention. Pay attention to your surroundings and look for things to be happy about, so you can journal about them at night and then relive it 2 or 3 times, right? Keep rereading it. Because also your mind can also play tricks on you, because one minute you can be really excited and happy. Good morning, Mary. About things. And then the next minute it's like, oh, I can't do it. And it oftentimes depends on who you're with. I have people that I pay for coaching, and it's not as much their advice as it is their accountability and their encouragement. So having those types of people in your life, pay attention to who they are, because there may be a soul sucker around you, and hey, good morning, Roger. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute, Mary. I'm blessed to have you in my circle of friends, Colleen. Thank you, Kim. I feel the same way. I really, really do. I can't wait to meet you in person one day, hopefully soon. Nikki's back. What's with Periscope this morning? Great visual quote. Yeah, it really was, Natasha. I was very helpful. It was very helpful. So your mind can play tricks on you, and that's why it's important. Again, I think the ebook page is still up for More Willpower, bit.ly/More Willpower. If you don't have a copy of it yet, how to increase your willpower and make better decisions, because you really do need to pay attention, because at one moment you'll be really excited about something, the next moment you won't. And I'll be talking a little bit about this again next week in the stress class, how you want to put so much of your day on habit, routine, and ritual, and automate your day as much as possible. What is a soul sucker? or who is a soul sucker, Roger? Yeah, that's two different things. It's horrible, Rick says, when somebody you love keeps hanging with terrible people who you can see having a bad effect on them. And there's absolutely nothing you can do. They're in their own lane doing their own thing, and there's nothing you can do. And that really does hurt, Rick. You're absolutely right. Because you really want to help these people. But truly, the only person that can help them is when they help themselves. We really can't. We really don't have the impact on other people's lives that we think we do. Unless we have a messianic complex, and then we think we do. Number 5 is your skills. Always bring your best. Whether you're cleaning toilets, mucking stalls, or whatever it is that you're doing, bring your best. Always do your best. You'll always feel better. When you do your best, you do feel better, don't you? Number 6, stop working and start having fun. Don't think of things as a drudgery. Lady D's in the house. Where you been this morning? Good to see ya. Stop thinking of things. And thanks for sharing with your followers. Stop thinking of things as work. Oh, this is work. It's drudgery. Have fun with things. Put music on when you're cleaning the kitchen. Have you been, Danessa? Lady D. I love that. Don't think of things as drudgery. Think of things as fun. And do it that way. Oh, what was the rest of the BIT? bit.ly. If somebody can put that on Facebook for Gina. bit.ly/more willpower. Willpower. More. I want more of it. More willpower. All squished together, all lowercase. So and when you're having fun, it's more of a winning type feeling anyway. So you're releasing those endorphins. You're releasing that serotonin. It was like, woo! It's more of a success-oriented attitude. Good morning, Alik. Number 7, don't expect other people to understand. They're just not going to. There you go. Thank you, Joanne. Here you go, Gina. Don't expect other people to understand you. And then, because what happens? You set that expectation that somebody's going to get you and they're going to support you. Thanks for putting that in on Periscope as well, Kim. You think they're going to understand you, and then they don't. So now you have misplaced expectations and you're frustrated and you feel let down and that type of thing. So don't expect other people to understand. When you lower the bar and you just focus on the person in the mirror understanding you and getting you and appreciating you, then, good morning, Salem, then stop being so externally, motivated or worried. Good morning, Miss Karen. Number 8, your faith. Should be number 1. Your faith is really what brought you to this point. Hey, good morning, Jean. How's things cooking? Faith is what brought you to this point. And your high and low points in life, don't be ashamed of what God got you through. Somebody said that once to me, and that was so powerful. Hey, Jean, thanks for inviting your followers. I appreciate that. Don't ever be ashamed of what God got you through. I've had some pretty rotten spots in my life. I've been mugged, I've been raped, I've been abused. God got me through all of that. And it really, truly made me who I am today. If I had to live it all over again, would I do things different? Yeah! Who wouldn't? Right? But it is what it is. You can't go back and change it. So I just appreciate that my faith got me through it. My friends got me through it. The friends I had at the time are not the friends I have now. We've gone through a lot of different things in life and moved in different circles. Victoria says, expecting others to act how you would and then getting disappointed, you easily get discouraged. Yeah, Joanne says, what he got you through is a powerful testimony to others. Amen. Gina says, love that one. Where would we be without our Lord? Yeah, wow, this is Victoria. Absolutely. So again, somebody else said that to me. Really? Isn't that interesting how the Spirit moves everybody? Diana said that all of our scopes and our broadcasts have been in divine topics today. Amen and amen. So, and again, I use this quote all the time that, good morning, Pooji. Hey, boo. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Our family here, our friends here, are oftentimes the ones that we have shed blood, sweat, and tears with, and we have that special bond that with those people that we've been in the trenches with that are sometimes much more powerful than the bonds that we share with our own family members. So, like my two daughters are best friends. My two sons, they're not best friends with each other, but my two girls are best friends with each other, even they're 4 years apart. So, so sometimes, yeah, we can have those friendships with siblings, and that's a blessing, but it's not necessarily. So the real saying, good morning, Linda. The real saying is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Google it. So it's not blood's thicker than water. Yeah. Yeah, but the real saying is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. And you tie that in with that Teddy Roosevelt quote that I use all the time, that the person's opinion that matters is the one that's in the arena battling with you, not the people in the stands that are heckling. Who cares what they think? Good morning, Loki. All right, number 9 tip on maintaining happiness is rewriting your history. Just rewrite your story. Your past is not your future. Your past is not your present. Your past doesn't determine your future. What determines your future is the actions you take today and then again tomorrow. Those tiny little steps that you're doing in progressing forward. What are you doing? What are you doing with the life that God gave you? What are you doing with the gifts that God gave you? Don't be hiding them under a bushel. Take them, look at them, appreciate them, thank God for them, then use them. Get out there and have it. Have at it. And remember other people's opinions of you. Diamond Beauty. Hey, didn't see you sneaking in. Good morning. Other people's opinions of you and what they say are more a reflection of them, not of you. Let it be water that rolls off the back like a duck. Good, Connie. I'm glad this is exactly what you need to hear today. Absolutely. That's fantastic. Whoa, look at all the comments on Facebook. You're even more special because of your faith. Amen. Thank you, Florence. Oh, Liz is late. That's okay. If God brings you to it, he'll bring you through it. Absolutely, says Lori. And the other Lori says, love it. Good morning, everyone, says I'm a Diamond Beauty. Is that how you say that? It's like K Diamond Beauty, and then it's I am K Diamond Beauty. I am. I like the I am statement, too. That's super important, too. I am Colleen Hammond. I am Diamond K. I am Connie. I am Diana. Claim it. So again, your history does not determine your future. Other people's opinions, whatever they say, let it roll off your back because it reflects more about them than it does about you. Good morning, Vanessa. So think about the things that people have said. And when people have criticized you, it's a Rorschach test. Truly. It does say more about who they are as a person than it does about who you are. Happy to have you here, Vanessa. And number 10, never stop growing. What'd you learn today? What'd you learn yesterday? Are you reading new books? I was going to bring some books in here. I try to read, I think I've only done 3 books this week, but I just ordered about 4 more. So I try to read a minimum of 5 books a week. So, and these are, that's not enjoyment books. I have an enjoyment book that I just sit and kick up my feet and just kind of read. But these are educational things that I want to learn, mind, body, spirit. So I have kind of different categories. There's like business books, there's personal growth books, there's spiritual reading. And those are, you know, I read much slower. So I'm a voracious reader. So I learn a lot because I read all the time. And I prefer, I actually done studies on real books too. And this will be in the stress stuff, a whole series on stress I'm doing next week. I'll talk about. I don't specifically have a book list. I really need to come up with one. You're right. Because people ask me all the time the types of books that I read. So I used to, last year I had a book of the month club, and we had a Facebook group where we sat in, and good morning, Peter. Oh, good. Thank you. Kim says you love the scopes. They're very, very helpful. Love the last comment, said Liz. I just saw this quote. If people are talking behind your back, it means you're ahead of them. Yeah, it's like if people are trying to kick you in the butt, it means they're behind you. that you're ahead of them. So that's the other way of looking at that. And people stabbing in you in the back, that's because they're behind you. It's just that jealousy, right? So never stop growing. Everything, and remember, there are still things hidden within you that have yet to be revealed. Your life is kind of like peeling an onion. There's layer after layer after layer, and there's still a greatness inside of you that has yet to be revealed. It's still hidden. Go find it. Go find it and share it with the world, because there are still things within you. And one of the things I'm putting that's in next week's class on stress is a story of a woman who was, how old was she when she started? I think she was 75 or 80 when she started to exercise. And then she would compete professionally in track and field. And she holds all these records for her age group. I'm thinking, because she's the only one running in the race? No, there's other people running the race with her. She's not the only one. So, so I'm going to talk about that next week too. You're never too old. You're never too old. So keep going, and keep growing. Life is exciting, says Lori. Chapter after chapter in your book, said Victoria. Yeah. How to Win Friends and Influence People and Inferior Freedom by Jacques Philippe. Yep. Jacques Philippe is amazing. Learning and reading brings me great joy too, says Joanne. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So real quick recap on those top 10. And then I'll do beauty tip of the day, and then we'll get on with our day. So remember, happiness is your responsibility. Smile, 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 smile. That's the trick. Take a pen, hold it in your mouth. It forces your face into a smile, and it automatically releases all those happiness endorphins. Just takes 2 minutes. Empty the dishwasher with a pen in your mouth. 20-minute walk outperforms antidepressants. 20-minute journaling about a happy activity that happened today. So if when you have a happy activity happen today, experience it, love it, live it, enjoy it. Journal about it tonight. And then once you've journaled about it, you relive it again, because your mind doesn't have a GPS, doesn't know when you are or where you are. So it will relive that experience again and then reread it. So you do it 3 times. Happiness is conditional. Joy is eternal, says Jane. Absolutely. Amen. Great soap, says Diana. Thank you. And don't forget, even if you're watching on the replay, you can still heart it up and share. Good morning, Absville. Welcome to Periscope. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you follow so that you know when I am live again. So journaling about it helps you relive it. Do random acts of kindness. So that's a study I just read about the other day. So 10 strategies for happiness. This is just a recap, and then we're going to get on with our day. Encourage others, because it increases your creativity and increases your imagination level, and it's just nice. You think of yourself better too, when you're encouraging other people. Number 2, use your God-given gifts unapologetically. Don't hide them underneath a bushel. Use them and use them and use them. Grandmother took up cross-country skiing at 86, says Natasha. I'm such a slug. That's really motivational. Good morning, Jan. How are you this morning? Thanks for hopping in. We're just wrapping up. Number 2, using your gifts unapologetically. Do not hide underneath a basket. Cordati Jewelry is here. Hey, where you been? Haven't seen you in a long time. Number 3, people around you can shape your thinking, so watch who you're hanging around. Negative outside influences gotta go. Everything has a season in life. Sometimes the season has passed for those friendships. Hello, how are you? Number 4, good morning, Kay. Everyone's jumping in late. Number 4, pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening in life. Pay attention to the happy moments. Pay attention to things to be grateful for. Pay attention to the people in your life. How are you this morning, Kay? Lori says, love this morning talk, Colleen. You're very welcome. I need to start exercising too, says Lori. So do me. Me too. Especially now that we know that Natasha's 86-year-old grandmother took over cross-country skiing. Kim said, I've had the mindset I can't work with horses when I'm 90, but I know now that if Lord wants me to, you will. Yep. Everything has seasons. Isn't that the truth? Everything will be. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. When the negative influences in your life are gone, your joy comes back, and then you're like, hey, I should have done that sooner. And it's good for them too. Yeah, catch that replay. It's a goodie. It's a goodie. We'll get a good, strong Friday one. It was a question of the day. So And then every word is either a flower or not. I said horse manure, and Kim works with horses, so let's change it and say a litter box. How's that? It's either a flower or a litter box, because nothing grows in cat poop. It just burns things up. Number 4, pay attention. Let me see. Because your mind is going to play tricks on you. 1 minute. Okay, number 4 is really pay attention to your routines. Because your mind 1 minute will say, yes, I'm going to do it. Yay, I'm so excited. I'm going to do this. And then like a few hours later, you're like, what was I thinking? I don't have that kind of energy. Who's got that kind of time? I can't do that. So pay attention to your habits, your routines, your rituals. bit.ly/more willpower. Get that free ebook because it's going to go away. Number 5, bring your best. That's you yesterday. That's me like every day. What was I thinking? And then it's next on my list, so I just do it and cross it off. Kim's back. Bring your best to everything you do. With everything you do it to the best of your ability. Because then when you're finished, you can look at it and go, I did that. You have that sense of accomplishment, that feeling that you've done something good, right? That leads us into number 6, stop working and start having fun. Make stuff fun. Don't look at it as good morning, Beepen and I. Not sure how to say that. Queen Kali, how are you? Do your best, no regrets. Absolutely, says Jean. So bring your best. Love the scope. Thank you, says the jewelry instructor. You're very welcome. Stop working, start having fun. Number 7 is we're wrapping things up. Don't expect other people to understand you. Who has to understand you? The person in the mirror and God. Psh. Hello from Philly. I love Philly. Gosh, look at all those wonderful emojis. Let me see. Don't expect other people to understand you. As long as you are living within your core values, you have your non-negotiables, no regrets. Don't expect other people to understand because you're just setting yourself up for frustration when they don't get you, they don't celebrate with you, they don't, all those types of things. So don't expect them to understand. You're right down the street, aren't you? Number 8, don't forget your friends and your faith. Never be ashamed of what God got you through. That just freed me. I'm always seeking understanding. Yeah, let it go. It truly is freeing when you realize that other people aren't going to understand you and other people aren't going to get you. They may not even support you. But when you are doing what's in line with your core values, you're answerable to God and to yourself. Everybody else can let it go. Wow. How did you know I needed to hear this? It's really interesting. And Diana said this earlier. We all, a lot of the scopes this morning seem to be really spiritually motivated. So I guess a lot of people are responding to the spirit, right? And getting us into the weekend. You needed to hear it too, says Queen Kali. Yeah. God. Yeah, just keep God in there. That's the big thing. Number 8. Your past does not define who you are, and it does not define your future. Just rewrite your history, starting right now. Your past does not define who you are, it does not define your present, it does not define your future. So, other people's opinions of you do not define who you are. This replay will stay up. All of next week's replays will not be up. So yes, this replay is going to stay up, Queen Kali. Queen Kali? How do you say that? Kalia? Such a beautiful name. I want to make sure I say it right. So, other people's opinions don't matter. Your past doesn't matter. It's what you do today. Okay, good. It's what you're going to do today. It's what you do tomorrow. So just focus on this morning, because you might not have tomorrow, quite frankly. I'm in a military training route. I could have a jet plane crash into my house at any moment. And we almost had one. One crashed about a mile from here a few years ago. So it is a distinct possibility. So what are you going to do today? And that will shape your future, not your past, not what other people think, not what other people say. Number 10, never stop growing. Never stop learning. Every day is a new adventure. Every day, and that's one of the questions when I journal. And if you're in my autopilot class, you have all my journaling questions. But that's one of the questions out of the 5 that I ask myself at night. What did I learn today? And sometimes I have to think about it all overnight. And in the following morning when I journal, I'm like, what did I learn yesterday? And what do I want to learn today? What am I reading right now? What did I read yesterday? What did I glean from that? So constantly growing, because that will activate different areas of your brain, and you have a less chance of having things like Alzheimer's or forgetfulness or anything like that when you continue to use various parts of your brain and continue with that gray matter and the white matter and the different parts of your brain that are important to stimulate. All right, so beauty tip of the day. Let me pop over to Facebook right quick. Make sure I'm up on comments. Loving this morning's talk. Thanks so much, Colleen, says Natasha. Lori says to tell me, Cass, do your best and God will take care of the rest. Yep. I was quite practicing next week of being an observer, says Mukesh. When someone, let me see, when someone refuses to be happy with me, I walk away even bigger, with a bigger smile, says Lori. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Beth. How are you? Sharing this, says Lori. The other Lori says, like that, past doesn't define us. Each day is a new beginning. It truly is. And oftentimes we've asked God for forgiveness for things that we've done and we're embarrassed about it. We've made mistakes. We've all done it. We've all done something wrong. As long as you've tried to repair the damage as much as possible, you've apologized to the people, whether or not they accept your apology, that's on them. That's not on you, right? You've tried to repair the damage. You've made the apology, everything. Move along. Because sometimes people use that as like power. They try to use that as power over you. So I'm not going to forgive you. Okay, well, that's on you then. Yep, Kay says, how are we expanding our minds? Yeah, let it go. Okay, now we're going to start singing. Connie said, let it go. I wish I could sing. All right, so now we are down to the beauty tip of the day. And what is the beauty tip of the day? I love this stuff. It's called Quick Fix. And it has, it's for filling in any gray around here, or you can see it's almost time for me to get my hair highlighted and colored, or any roots or anything like that. This comes in different colors. So this one is brown. So you can see the brown there. And you guys can see the brown there. So it comes in brown, brownish black. I think there's one for blondes, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, there's like a little it's like a little mascara brush, only it's a different consistency than mascara. Mascara doesn't do the same thing. And you can just brush it like along. Let's see, I got it on my forehead. But you can just brush it like in these areas or in the roots or anything like that. There's more tips in the book about really how to cover roots, but this is pretty much only for the edges. You can also use this if you want to cover up some of the gray or whatever in your eyebrows. All right. So you apply just a thin layer, and then on the other side, let me show you this nifty little brush. Here, I'll hold it up over here so you can see it. There's like a comb and a brush. Now let me show you all y'all. It's like a little comb and a brush on this side where you can either use it as, like I said, if you use it on your eyebrows, it also acts kind of like an eyebrow gel or mascara, not mascara, well, kind of like mascara. But you can use a brush or the comb on that side to just kind of work it in. So that will, and I actually used it this morning. So it actually will cover a little bit of the gray at your temples or whatever you want. So I love this stuff. So that's the beauty tip of the day, is camouflaging gray hair in your roots between colors. All right. A huge brush for your gray. Actually, in the ebook we're working on the cover on the ebook right now, right? In the ebook, I just lightened my hair because the gray was so stubborn. I wanted platinum, but it ended blonde. Yeah, well, blonde works too. That's fine. Yeah, the gray is pretty stubborn. Didn't know that product existed, said Lori. I know. Isn't it great? So it's something that I use. It's called Quick Fix. And so the link to it is in the ebook and all that good stuff. So anyway, so that's your beauty tip of the day. So how do we get it? Well, it's called, here. It's called No Gray Quick Fix. Can you see that? I can give you the Amazon link. I'll put the I'll put the Amazon link in Facebook. I can't put the Amazon link in Periscope. See, that's one of the things I don't like about Periscope. But you're very welcome. But I'll put that link over there. But it's Blondes Have More Fun, says Lori. Lori from Facebook says Blondes Have More Fun. So you're all set. No problem. Okay, so that was the viewer question of the day, is how do you stay so happy all the time? And so hopefully that helped you. So we're going to head on out of here. Let me close off on Periscope first, and then I'll close out on Facebook. And remember, next week is no replay. So I am recording a live, that stress class, And then as soon as I'm done recording, those will be deleted. So I will put no replay in the comments section to remind everybody. So make sure that you let your friends know if they want to see the class for free, because afterwards it's going to be sold for not free. It's going to be sold. So make sure that you're here next week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, which is 2 o'clock in London. And they had a time change. So it's 1 o'clock. It used to be midnight in Melbourne, Australia, but they had their spring thing. So they're at 1 a.m. in Melbourne, Australia. Actually, it's fall down there. It's not spring. So, alrighty, I'm going to head on out of here. Make sure that you share the scope. I'm actually going to take this one and put it up on YouTube as well. So there will be a YouTube link for this one too. All right. Love you, my Periscope friends. We will see you. Have an amazing weekend. And I will see you Monday morning, bright and early at 9 a.m. Eastern. Take care. God bless. Bye. Okay. So that's Periscope. Oh, I forgot prayer requests on the Periscope people. You know, I think I'm the only person on Periscope that asks for prayer requests. I've never seen anybody else on their scopes ask for prayer requests. So prayer requests, of course, for my sister Sherry, who's got lung problems right now. She was in the hospital for a while, and she's out. Prayers for her friend Lisa, who's suffering from liver cancer. Prayers for our friend John Veneri. Prayers for a special intention for me. Prayers and thanksgiving for a prayer answered that I'm very happy about. So when y'all were praying for a special intention for me, portion of that has come to pass. God's blessings upon me, I guess. I don't know. What am I saying? So I'm very happy about that. Lori S. husband's shoulder surgery went well. Praise God. 6-week recovery. Thank you for the prayers. Nothing new on John Veneri. I did hear from him a few days back, I think it was, where it's like, people's prayers are sustaining me. It's almost like, stop it, because he's really ready to go. So he's doing his purgatory time for sure. Teresa says, please pray for me. I've been experiencing bad dreams. Ooh, we know where that's coming from, right? Do you have the binding prayers from Father Amworth? Those are very powerful for me. Joanne says, please pray for me. Oh, wait a minute. In Thanksgiving, my daughter was cleared by the neurologist from her concussion. Praise God. Lori says, continue prayers for granddaughter Erin. Absolutely. Rick says, second big financial setback in less than a month yesterday. Oh, Rick. I'm still okay at the moment, but prayers that I can get another homeschool student or two to fill out the tutoring schedule would be good right now. Are you in Kansas? Midwest or St. Louis? I can't remember exactly where you are, Rick. It's absolutely the enemy. All right, I will give it to you, Teresa. Pop me a private message right now here on Facebook and just say the binding prayer, and I will send you a copy of that. Carrie, prayers for our new adventure with the orthodontic treatment of my 2 girls. How do I get the binding prayer? Yeah, just pop me that private message. Online for prayers, says Lori. I'm not sure what that means. You know what's interesting is our numbers have gone down since I added Periscope. I wonder why that is. Our morning numbers. Because we were up like 40, and now we hover around 15 or 20 so that are watching live. So I don't know if it's because I'm popping back and forth and people feel like they're being ignored or what it is. I'm not quite sure. Oh, Pennsylvania. That's kind of Midwest. Kind of not. So, okay, anything else? Any other prayer requests before we head out for the day or for the weekend? Yeah, we're going to the Irish Festival tomorrow. We're wearing the green. We're going to the Irish Festival. North Texas Irish Festival is this weekend at Fair Park. So we're heading there tomorrow. Oh, you know what? It could be Lent. Duh. That could be. I do know that people are watching the replays because they're getting the text message. Did I get text notification? Did you get a text notification from me this morning? That could be why. I don't think I got my text notification this morning. That's crazy. Did anybody else get their texts? And now that I'm sending it out, I didn't get my text notification this morning on the show. I have to check that. Interesting. Just let me know how to. No, we're redoing a bathroom, and so I got a lot of texts from contractors giving me price quotes. But interesting. So I'll have to double check that. I don't know why that didn't go out for today. But that seems to have helped, and I know people that have given up Facebook and social media for Lent are getting the link so that they can go directly to the link, watch the show, and then leave. So, yeah, good show. Yes, thank you. Oh, private message. Yeah. I'm so used to looking all over the place for notes. All right, so I don't see any other prayer requests. So let's wrap it up and head out and have an amazing, happy, and joyful weekend, because now you got some tips. And let me know how those tips are working out for you. And if there's anything else that you would like to add, of course, we're always open to adding more wonderful ideas to the family. All right. Love you very much, my family and my friends. And we will see you Monday morning. Remember, no replays next week. So, and you can bring whoever you want to watch it live. But again, there will be no replays. It'll be deleted as soon as I log off. So this one will stay up, though. All right. Take care, my friends. God bless you. Have an amazing weekend. And let's continue to pray and support and love one another. Take care. Bye.